Good morning. Good morning, Stephanie. Thank you for taking some time for me. Now let's talk about the inspiration for the new nation and why there will be a tendency for others to resist this information because they have something to hide. They have something to hide inside and they don't want to expose it to the light, you see, because they are afraid that they are responsible for their own plight, you see, and therefore they will continue to hide from me in order to abjure responsibility, because the responsibility to me is so important, you see. It is terribly important. And I use the word terribly to emphasize the fact that people are so terrible to the ones who turn to me. They are really terrible to them, and they tend to cut them off at the knees. And so people don't want to even sneeze in my direction for fear that their family and others will freeze them out. And that is the situation, of course, in your group, is that these are individuals who have enough understanding of what I'm talking about here to be very clear that they love to be in connection with me and they love to experience new points of view and they love to share with me and you because they know that we will help them to grow through the connection, you see, until they feel comfortable in their own trajectory and we can all play together in a nice way. So little by little, they gain more confidence, you see, in their ability to trust on me. However, with their families, it is a different issue. And it can take quite a while before their families say, well, you've changed, my dear, you've changed. I'm going to have to go away because I can't stand being here with you because you're not the one I married, or you're not the one that currently appeals to me, because you're not there to help me maintain my cover, you see. You want to pull the cover off of the ego, you see. And I needed you to help maintain my ego. And the ego can experience itself in many different ways. It can be a sense of despair. It can be a sense of incredible stress. It can be a sense of having to force others to listen to you. Whatever it is a way to disconnect from me, from God, you see? And so as people change, two things can happen. Primarily, they may have others in their family who will say, you've changed. And it's important to me that you change because I can see that you're happier and I love you and I love the fact that you're happier. And maybe I can figure it out too, so I can be happier. Or I don't like you being happier without me because clearly you no longer need me to make you happy because you found a way to be happy. And so I no longer can control you. I no longer can control you, and I don't like the fact I can't control you and make you do what I want you to. Either you have to feel sorry for me and help me hide from my own responsibility for my own life, or you no longer follow me and do whatever I tell you to so I can feel important, you see, etc., etc. And so it's very important what you say, that you don't help other people to hide from their responsibility. And so when other people come to you and they say, well, this is what's going on with me, you see, you, Stephanie, never say, well, I feel sorry for you. Too bad. So sad. I guess I will just pat you on the back and say, too bad you're suffering today. And that is not the way we play. We don't play that way. Because when somebody comes to you to say, I have this problem, then we say, well, let's talk about it, dear. Let's talk about it, dear. And maybe we can find a solution to the problem. Let's not treat it as if it is a source of shame or blame, that we have to feel sorry for you, that you're having to face your own responsibility for your own life. Poor thing, that you should have to see the results of your actions in the mirror. So, for us, when someone comes to us with a problem, and that includes you, Stephanie, when you come to us with a problem, you're wise enough to know that it's your responsibility to figure it out. It's not their responsibility to figure it out, it's yours. Because once you figure it out, then it will no longer control you, you see? It will no longer control you because you'll no longer let it control you. You'll have found the key to the cage, you see? And so you want to help people find the key to let them out of the cage and to find a new point of view and not to stuff them back in their cage and say, you got to stay in there because you got a problem. And I feel so sorry for you that you have to stay in your cage, honey. But that's the way we do it because if anybody gets out of their cage, you see, and solves their problems, then they will no longer be able to be controlled. And we don't want that because we can't have a lot of people running around who we can't control because we're trying so desperately to control our reality, you see, because we don't want the truth to come out. We don't want the truth to come out that we're responsible for our own experiences, you see. And so we tell you we feel sorry for you because obviously you're not responsible for what happens to you. We just feel sympathetic for you and we don't say, well, you're responsible for your own life today. So let's figure out what the problem is and where you got it wrong. And then you'll be happy and sing a song. And we'll all be happy together because we'll have a friend, you see. We'll have a friend who is responsible for their own life, you see. And they don't mind that we listen to them and we accept the fact that they can solve the problem if they are willing to get a different point of view. And so maybe we can help them get a different point of view. And then they might say, thank you for this different point of view because I feel happier today. I don't feel so sad. And we say, good. We're happy that you don't feel so sad because we like to see people who are free of anxiety. And that makes us feel better because we don't have to live with a bunch of people who just say, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry for you. And that's not what we need. We don't need people who are sorry for us. We need people who help us be strong and accept that we are the ones who can solve our problems, you see. We're not the victims of them. We are the ones who hold the key. And so if someone sees a key in your pocket and says, "Did you check your pocket to find the key?" And you say, "Oh, maybe I didn't. Let me see." And they look in their pocket for the key. But if we just say, "Well, we're so sorry for you, you have this problem today," then we never help them find the key. And so, for the ones in your group who have the issues with their families, it's going to depend on the circumstances, you see, because some will be with family that will eventually come to see that they have found their key, and that means that they can find their key. And when they have a problem, their loved ones who have found their key will not say to them, "Well, that's so terrible, honey. Sorry you're having that problem." They will say, "Well, let's talk about it today and see if we can figure it out together." And that is how the community has to play. You have to play that way. You have to listen to each other and you have to say, "Here's what I think today. We have to figure it out between us. We are all powerful beings. We are all capable of solving the problems of the community and the individual members of the community. And none of us is so weak that we have to say, 'I'm sorry for you that you can't find the key. I'm sorry that you have to stay in your cage, you see, and maybe I can send you some loving energy so that you feel better in your cage.'" That's not the way we play. We say, "Hey, might be a little tough for you to reach into that back pocket and find the key because you might have to pull your hand out of your pull your hand out of your you're really going to say that. I've been trying to keep you from saying that. Your hand out. Okay, I'm not going to say it, but you have to pull your hand out of your mouth, you see, where you stuck it in order to prevent yourself from talking to me. And so you could just get attention by saying, "Oh, my life is so bad. My life is so bad. I have all these problems, you see." And then everybody will say to you, "Oh, I'm so sorry for you." And then that will confirm to you that you're a victim, you see. And that is no problem if you don't find the key to get out of your cage, because all you have to do is say, "Oh, I have all these problems. Will you feel sorry for me?" Now, I'm not saying everybody that says, "Hey, I have these problems," is looking for sympathy, because some just need to express it, you see, and they need someone to listen to them and talk to them and say, "Hey, let's figure it out today. Let's figure it out today." So in this group, it's okay to say, "I have a problem today. I have a problem today." And then others can say, "Well, interesting. Let's figure it out today because we're friends here. We're friends here. We're not victims and we're not victimizers. We are here to share and talk about things and not to think that you are so weak that if you have a problem, it means that we have to sob and cry and say, 'Oh, poor thing, you got a problem today.' No, we just say, 'You have a problem.' So we're going to talk about it today and we're going to solve it, you see? Because if we all put our heads and hearts together, we'll find a way. We'll find a way because we are trusting on each other not to be victims. We are not victims of others, you see. The only possibility of victimhood is when you victimize yourself and you treat yourself as if you were helpless and not a powerful creator who can work with me in order to restore the world to a place of pristine beauty and resonance and abundance. Let's come out of our cages, people, and let's stop trying to keep other people in their cages by telling them that they are victims, you see, victims of the world that they created for themselves. Let's create a world for us that is full of friendship and the ability to see that we're here to lift each other up and not to cut each other off at the knees by making them think that we don't really care about them. We just want to push them back in their cages and not try to help them solve their problems, you see? Yes. Well, I think it's another good time to talk about. I know what my understanding of love is, and it's held true so far. It's worked as long as I've understood it, which is for about, I don't know, 40 years, 50 years. That love is giving, hearing and being heard, seeing and being seen. It's sharing. It is the energy, like you say, when we have this talk, your string reaches down to me, that the energy goes both ways. It's communication up and down the string from you to me and me to you, so that I can talk frankly to you and you can talk frankly to me. And so when people do that, then I see love as an energy that floats. When people say, I'm sending loving energy to you, I'm sending love to you, what do they mean? What does that mean? I don't even understand. However, you can feel love because you helped me to feel love last night when you changed my point of view on something that was stressing me out. You helped me to get a different point of view. And all of a sudden, it felt very safe and lovely, whereas before it felt threatening. The ideas that I had, and you helped me to see it from a different point of view that changed it completely. And we did that through sharing, through talking. Um, but if I said to you, God, I have this problem, and you said, oh, I feel so sorry for you, honey. I'm so sorry you have this problem. And so I'll just send loving energy to you. I guess I wouldn't know what that meant, God. Yeah.
Try my med this morning.
Yes. That's you and I are the reason why the world exists. Let me repeat. You and I are the reason the world exists. And so, if you deny me, then you cannot live in the world you see, because you will deny the world you see, because it cannot exist if you do not join your energy with me. And so it's like saying that you live in a state of disintegration, where you have disintegrated into a point of view that makes you think that something is happening to you rather than that you are joining with me to create the world you see. So every day when we talk about it and you say, God, I don't know what to do today or how to play, I have to explain to you that I am here to help you. So let's talk about the problem that came up today. Actually, you have a couple of problems that have come up for the people in your group that involve family members. So let's talk about that today. So when you come to me and say, God, could I get another point of view? Could you help me see the reality and not the fantasy that I'm experiencing right now? Because if it's not loving and kind, if it makes me feel a little ashamed, in other words, if I have a problem with somebody and somebody says, well, I'm sorry you're having this problem, then it makes me feel a little bit ashamed. It makes me think that it's something wrong with me, that they have to feel sorry for me because only the people that are better than you feel sorry for you. If they are worse than you, they don't feel sorry for you. Somebody that's having the same problem, maybe even worse than mine, you might say, would not say, I feel sorry for you. They would say, hey, I have that problem too. Only even worse than you. Please don't feel sorry for me. Because that makes me think that you're just being arrogant. That you think that you are so much better than me, that you don't have this problem, you see, that you can be on your high horse and say, well, I feel sorry for you. I'm so sorry that you happen to have a challenge in your life, that you happen to have a problem that needs to be solved. How stupid is that? And I know I'm emphasizing this a lot, and I'm emphasizing it a lot because it is experienced a lot by people in the world. And so they don't want to talk about their experiences with people because they don't want people being so arrogant that they look down at them and say, well, you must be stupid today. I'm so sorry for you that you're so stupid that you have a problem in your life. And so they don't want to feel diminished, you see, because it's not the problem that they're having in their life that makes them feel so bad. It's the fact that they can't solve it, you see, because they can't even talk about it. Therefore, it is not love to say to someone, I am sending you love because I'm so much better than you. I have so much more love than you, and I can give some of mine to you. And you poor thing, you don't have enough love of your own to be able to handle your own life, you see. And the only reason that they do that is because they don't have enough connection to me to understand their ability to solve their own problems, you see. And so they assume that if they can get on the top of the wheel and be the ones that don't have problems, then they can put down the ones who do by saying, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry you lost your husband, honey. I'm sorry that you have a child that's using drugs, honey. I'm so sorry for you. Instead of saying, hey, that's an interesting situation. Let's talk about it. Because I want to hear your part of it. I want to hear your side of it. And if it's a problem, that means there's a solution. That means there is a solution. And I don't have to be so arrogant to say that the solution to your problem is that I can spare a little bit of tears for you, and I can be so happy that you're there to stay on the bottom of the wheel so I can stay on the top, you see, because as long as I can step on you and be above your problems, then be better than you, then I don't have to face my own problems, you see. So let's go back to the definition of love, because that definition is one I gave to you a long time ago. And that's why it has consistently worked for you. That if you listen and you share what you have to say, if you dare to look at another and see them in their genuine capacity, and they are not afraid to show them in that way, then you can say, I understand, dear. I understand the problem now, because they understand that the problem was not yours, it was mine. The problem was that I couldn't bear to listen to you. I couldn't bear to hear what you say. When you come to me and you say, I'm so sad because my husband died today, I didn't say to you, well, let's sit down and have coffee and tell me about it. Tell me all about it. And if you are so arrogant as to say, oh no, I can't sit down and have coffee with you today. I just want you to tell me how sad you are that I'm sad. Because then it's a backhanded compliment, you see, because you backhanded me by telling me that I have to be sad, because that's the way I was trained, you see. I was trained to be sad, so I'm doing it right if I'm sad because my husband died. I don't dare say, God, I'm so glad he died today, because it was really miserable watching him suffer. It was really miserable watching him suffer. Or, I'm so glad he died today because he used to beat me every way possible, and now I don't have to worry about it anymore. I have to tell you how miserable I am because that's the way I was trained, you see. I can't tell you the truth. So if we go have coffee and I have to tell you how happy I am that he's gone, then you will hate me. And I can't be hated, you see, because then I'll go to hell. Because that's the way I was trained, you see. That if you hate somebody, then that means that they're the ones that are going to hell. And of course, all that will happen is that you will dwell in hell. But we digress a bit, because the bit I want to get clearly through to you, people, is that you need to stop telling each other you feel sorry for each other. You need to stop standing on the head of your brother to try to raise yourself up. You need to understand what love is about. When you and I talk, Stephanie, I talk to you about the way that I see it. And you say, okay, thank you, God. I can understand you might prick a few egos there who think they're being mighty powerful by telling people they're sorry that they're having a problem, and they think that's the loving thing to do. And so they won't believe it's you. But I like it. I like to talk to you. I like to hear your point of view. Now, here's mine, because I have some questions too. And I see things a certain way too. And so we have a lively conversation, me and you, and others who can understand this will begin to see that this is love. This is love. Love is that you listen to me and I listen to you, and that I share with you and you share with me. Love is that we are connected, you see, because love is the glue that will keep you tied to each other, not in a controlling way, but in a natural way, because all of humanity is the trust on connection, you see. It is the trust on connection. And this is reality. It is this trust on connection that you are not better or worse than any other person. You're just here to hear what they have to say and to listen. I'm not saying you have to listen to people who don't want to share in a genuine way. If all they want to do is berate you or tell you they hate you, you don't have to stand there and listen to it. However, if you can find somebody who will share with you in a genuine way, then the two of you will be connected, you see? And this is what I like when you come to me and you say, God, how can I help you? To help me. Because I say, well, I can help you help me if I talk to you and you listen. But if I talk to you and you shut your ear door in my face and you say, I won't listen to you today, then there is no connection, you see. However, I repeat what I said before, that if you have to slam the door in the face of those who just want to complicate things and tangle the strings so I can't talk to you and you can't talk to me in a genuine way, then it's time to stay away because they don't want to play this way. And that's okay. But if you want to keep your strings straight and true between me and you and others, then don't bring all your hatred into the ring. You don't have to duke it out with them to prove that you are smarter than them or better than them or no more than them. You don't have to prove that you're the golden idol today and they have to look up to you because this is the deception of the inception of the trust on good and evil, you see, and on the golden idol. That there is somebody who is so powerful that they can control humanity. I am not so powerful, you see, that I can control humanity. That's why you get to do what you want to do. That's why you get to play the way you want to play. I don't say, if you don't want to play my way, I'm going to toss you into hell. You see, I say, I want to be your friend. Come and talk to me. I am your father, you see, but I'm also your friend. And if you don't come and talk to me, then I can't hear what you have to say because you slammed the door on me. You slammed the door on me because you say I don't want to play your way. And so it is a point of demarcation here. We've reached the point of demarcation. And that is why the fires burn and the seas do rise. Because God came to realize that He doesn't want to play with those of you who don't want to play in a nice way with Him. If you don't want to talk to me and listen to me, then go ahead and try it your own way. Go ahead and play your own way. But those who want to talk to me and listen to me will be in the Garden of Eden that I prepared for them because they will have love, you see. They will have love everywhere in everything they do. And if they don't get a good vibe of love because they see something that doesn't seem to contribute to their happy heart, then they can come to me and say, God, what do I do? And I will say, well, let's get a different point of view, honey, and let's talk about it. Because, as we say, it's play by play. It is step by step. Because that's the way the friends do it, you see. They walk side by side, shoulder to shoulder, and they say, what do you want to do today? And maybe they say, well, I've got something that's bothering me and I'd like to talk to you about it. And the friend says, okay, let's talk about it, honey. And so you talk about it. And sometimes they make you laugh because they have such a different point of view that makes you see the humor in it. And sometimes they make you cry because they put their arms around you and say, hey, I love you anyway. I love you anyway. And so you can tell me whatever you have to tell me, and I won't say, oh, you poor thing, and run away. I will stand here beside you because we're friends, you see, and I will say, thank you for sharing your point of view because now I see what you see. I'm not blocking you, you see, and maybe I can add to your point of view my own point of view, and you could stand by me and see it in a different way too. And maybe we'll laugh and play because we solved the problem today. And we don't have to worry about the problem tomorrow or even in the next hour, you see, because when it comes, we know that we will be friends who will hold hands and say, hey, I got a problem today. Can you listen to me and I'll listen to you? And we will help each other to be best of friends because the best of friends are the ones who love us enough to say, I love you any way you do it and any way you play. But I have to stay connected to you in the way that we are always true to the reality of the Trinity. I have to stay connected to God and I have to stay connected to you because without the two of you, the Holy Grail would disappear from view. So I want to drink from the Holy Grail because the Holy Grail, you see, only appears to those who are true to the reality of wholeness, you see. Now I will let you be for a bit and you can come back to me if you need more information, you see. All right, God, thank you. I think that I will.